The headlines for this hour on VTV News: Vietnam-Argentina enhance relations. Ho Chi Minh City strive to speed up public investment disbursement. In a war news, UN sounds red alert as climate records broken last year.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi and you're watching VTV News. The 13th Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam convened a meeting at its headquarters in Hanoi on March 20th to consider and give opinions on the wish to cease holding positions by Vo Van Thuong, Politburo member of the 13th Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee, State President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, and Chairman of the National Defense and Security Council for the 2021-2026 tenure. He is a key leader of the party and state, received fundamental training, grew up from the grassroots, and was assigned to hold many important leadership positions of the party and state. However, recent report from the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee's inspection commissions and relevant authorities show that he has violated regulations on what party member must not do and regulations concerning the responsibility to set an example of officials and party members. His violations and shortcomings have sparked negative public opinion and affected the prestige of the party and the state, as well as his own reputation. Fully being aware of his responsibilities before the party and state and the people, Vo Van Thuong submitted an application to cease holding the assigned positions and to retire. In pursuant to the current regulations of the party and the state, and in considerations of his wish, the party's Central Committee agreed to let Vo Van Thuong cease holding the positions. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh received Argentina Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Trade and Worship Diana Elena Mondino in Hanoi on Wednesday. The Prime Minister affirmed that Vietnam always valued the traditional friendship and comprehensive partnership with Argentina and believes that the visit of the minister will contribute to the increasingly realistic development of relations between the two countries. In the coming time, the Prime Minister proposed that the two sides increase the exchange of delegations at all levels, especially high-level ones, promote negotiation and signing of cooperation documents to facilitate business, trade and investment activities, make efforts to increase bilateral trade turnover, open the market for each country's strong products. The Vietnamese leaders asked Argentina to support and promote early negotiations on the Vietnam-South American Common Market FTA. The guest expressed her admirations and congratulations on Vietnam's great achievements in innovations, as well as its macroeconomic management and inflation control policies. She affirmed that Argentina attaches great importance to Vietnam's increasing role and positions in the region and internationally. She wishes to strengthen cooperation with Vietnam, especially in the areas the Prime Minister discussed. Foreign Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn on March 19 held talks with Argentina Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Trade and Worship Diana Elena Mondino, who is paying an official visit to Vietnam on March 19 to 20th. During the talks, the two sides informed each other about each country's situations, agree on directions and measures to strengthen the comprehensive partnership between Vietnam and Argentina, and discussed the possibility of establishing a strategic partnership in the field of industry and agriculture between the two countries. The two sides also exchanged views on regional and international issues of mutual concern. Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn affirmed that Vietnam values the traditional friendship and comprehensive partnership of Vietnam and Argentina and wishes to promote bilateral cooperation in accordance with the strengths and needs of both sides. For her part, Minister Mondino affirmed that the Argentine government always values and wishes to strengthen relations with Vietnam in its overall policies toward the Asia-Pacific region. Prime Minister Phie on March 19 received a new ambassadors of the Republic of Korea and Laos who have just commenced their tenures in Vietnam, affirming the Vietnamese government's commitment to supporting them in fulfilling their diplomatic duties.
At the reception for Ambassador Choi Young-sam, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh said both sides need to strengthen political ties and cooperation across various development sectors to match the bilateral comprehensive strategic partnership. He called for promoting sustainable and balanced growth in trade and encouraged Korean firms to expand their operations in Vietnam, with a focus on areas where the Republic of Korea excels such as cultural industry, electronics, shipbuilding, and emerging fields like semiconductors and artificial intelligence. Ambassador Choi Young-sam, for his part, affirmed that the Republic of Korea government considers Vietnam a priority in its current foreign policy and wishes to foster bilateral relations with Vietnam. He agreed with the cooperation directions outlined by Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, particularly in maintaining the exchange of all-level delegations and increasing all-around collaboration.
Hosting the new Lao ambassador to Vietnam, Cam Pho Ernthven the same day, the Vietnamese leader highlighted the need for both nations to effectively carry out high-level agreements and existing cooperation mechanisms, especially the outcomes of the recent meeting between the two parties and the 46th session of the Vietnam-Laos Intergovernmental Committee. He wished that relevant agencies of both countries would better coordinate to tackle obstacles to develop economic, trade and investment ties to a level that matches the close political relations between Vietnam and Laos, with a focus on strategic and locality-to-locality cooperation, infrastructure connectivity, energy and workforce training projects, and mutual support at global and regional forums.
Prime Minister Pham Minh has recently issued a dispatch on strengthening measures to manage the domestic gold market. The Prime Minister requested the State Bank of Vietnam to coordinate with relevant agencies to closely monitor the world and domestic gold price development and implement prompt and effective solutions to stabilize the gold market following market principles, paying attention to the high gap between domestic and international gold bar prices. The government leader also requested a comprehensive examination of the legal framework, mechanisms, and policy related to gold market management and gold bar and gold jewelry business activities in the country. The Prime Minister has instructed the Ministry of Public Security to collaborate with the State Bank of Vietnam to monitor gold trading enterprises, stores, gold distributions, and trading agents and other entities participating in the market. Deputy Prime Minister Lê Minh Khai held a meeting on Wednesday with ministries and departments to discuss solutions for stabilizing the gold market. The State Bank of Vietnam reported that it has concluded the summarizations and evaluations of Decrees number 24 regarding gold market management, incorporating feedback from ministries, departments, and experts. Deputy Prime Minister Lê Minh Khai underscored the importance of the State Bank of Vietnam devising effective short-term and long-term solutions to ensure the stability and safety of the gold market. Furthermore, the State Bank of Vietnam was instructed to collaborate with relevant entities to combat illegal gold trading. Until a new decree is issued, the State Bank is tasked with promptly implementing policies to address the current shortcomings in the gold market. National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ has welcomed the first Vietnam visit by a high-ranking delegation from the U.S.-ASEAN Business Councils since Vietnam and the U.S. upgraded their relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership last year. At a reception in Hanoi on March 20th for the delegations led by the U.S. ABC, President and CEO Ted Osius, Chairman Vương Đình Huệ affirmed that Vietnam considers U.S. a leading important partners, especially in economies and trade. He also said that Vietnam is willing to develop the comprehensive strategic partnership with the U.S. on the basis of respecting each other's independence, sovereignties, territorial integrity, and political regimes. Vietnam prioritizes expanding cooperation ties with the U.S. on all the bilateral, regional, and global aspects with a higher level of mutual understanding and trust. USAPC President and CEO Ted Osius highlighted the commitments of U.S. businesses to realize the U.S.-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and their alignment with Vietnam development priorities. The editorial team of the Socioeconomic Subcommittee, one of the 5 subcommittees formed to prepare for the 14th National Congress of the party, convened its inaugural session on Wednesday. During the meeting, the team reviews the draft outline of the report on the evaluations of the 5-year implementations of the socioeconomic development strategies during the 2021-2030 period. The objective outlined for the draft report is to meticulously assess the state of development, provide accurate forecasts, and propose innovative solutions to achieve the strategy's objectives. Discussions during the initial session focused on analyzing outcomes across various areas, including the macroeconomic situations, modernization, economic restructuring, and the reinforcement of national defense and international integration. Ho Chi Minh City aims to disburse 600 to 400 billion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $258 million in public investment this March, ensuring that the first quarter reaches a disbursement rate of 10% of the total capital for the year. This means that the amount of disbursements this month is 4 times higher than that of the first 2 months. The country economic hub is making efforts to deploy more effective solutions to achieve this challenging goal.
The project to renovate Xuyen Dam Canal, specifically the section passing through Gò Vấp district, has impacted hundreds of households that are subject to site clearance.
Our aim is to efficiently manage the updating of certificates, licensing, and repairs, cutting down the procedure time by 50% for individuals and streamlining the site handover process.
By the end of February, Ho Chi Minh City had disbursed more than $66 million in public investment, which is 4 times higher than the same period last year. However, within the context of this year's total capital allocation to the city, which is nearly $3.2 billion, the state of surveying and proposing compensation unit process is being proactively carried out.
For projects involving compensation components, surveys and reviews have been conducted in advance to ensure that the data closely reflects reality. This approach enables us to arrange proper capital plans, ensuring the efficient use of capital.
For new bidding projects, particularly key projects, contractors are required to organize 3 shifts for crews to expedite project completion in the shortest time.
Several measures that proved effective last year will be reinforced by the city government this year. This includes a regulation requiring a minimum 30% reduction in the time taken to resolve public investment project procedures between departments and districts. Additionally, investors are urged to take decisive action against contractors causing delays.
Coming up next on VTV News, Ho Chi Minh City faces demographic challenges due to low fertility rate. And job opportunities for young workers.
When it comes to business, it's crucial to choose a smart location with global impact. And Vietnam might just be the location for you. Connect worldwide to advanced logistics networks. Smart hub for technology and innovation. A dynamic business ecosystem. An environment with a competitive edge.
Despite a decrease in overall credit growth in the economy during the first 2 months of the year, real estate was one of the 2 sectors showing positive credit growth. However, due to ongoing shortcomings, international organizations and experts have expressed concern about supply shortages, and specific solutions are required to achieve the completions of 130,000 social housing units this year.
In 2023, 44 housing projects, totaling over 36,000 units, were completed and licensed for low-income earners and industrial park workers. However, this figure is considered modest compared to the target of 1 million units by 2030. The primary reason for this shortfall is the limited availability of land.
Market value frameworks, and these particularly for compensation and clearance of land, has been a problem, and the implementation has been a problem. And the Prime Minister has been very, very vocal, saying about the disbursement of money for infrastructure and these major projects.
According to the Vietnam Real Estate Association, there is a notable absence of affordable housing in the market. The prices of affordable housing in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City have risen by 20 to 30%.
When developers are acquiring new projects, a lot of the land prices are very high, which is forcing prices up. That's also creating a bit of a feasibility issue in these projects as well. So I think the government just needs to have stronger town planning and infrastructure initiatives around transport, main roads, some of these factors that will make the real estate market more fluid.
Licensing, approvals, permits are very lengthy and sometimes very unpredictable. It makes the cost higher. It makes the project individually less profitable.
According to Wibe News analysis, localities continue to struggle with enforcing regulations and ensuring appropriate land use planning. Additionally, access to credit is still a significant hurdle. Only about 26 million United States dollars of the 120 trillion Vietnamese dongs, 5.11 billion US dollars credit package for social housing development has been disbursed after over 10 months of implementation.
From our viewpoint, lending rates of 7.5 to 8% per annum for commercial banks and 4.8% per annum for social policy banks are still high. It's crucial to create more favorable conditions and simplify the approval process for investors. The policy should also be widely promoted so that home buyers can access this credit package.
It's just the tip of the iceberg, really. There's a lot that will need to be done in a concerted effort over longer periods of time. There are things that the government would be aware of that other jurisdictions and countries do to support the development of the affordable housing, etc. There's things they could do with mortgage products over longer periods of time.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh recently oversaw a conference focused on promoting social housing development. During this conference, he assigned specific tasks to ministries, departments, and localities to alleviate complications in the social housing sector. In addition to these efforts, businesses and experts are anticipating changes in the legal framework related to project approval and credit access procedures. They also expect an acceleration in site clearance to create land funds for imminent project implementation.
Ho Chi Minh City fertility rate currently stands at 1.42 children per woman. Although this figure is higher than that of 2022, it still reflects an alarmingly low birth rate. The city total birth rate has been on continuously decline since 2000 and currently ranks as the lowest in the country. Due to rapid population aging and a falling birth rate, Ho Chi Minh City is poised to face a shortage of human resources in the future, threatening the city's sustainable economic growth. The Ho Chi Minh City Department of Populations and Family Planning's representative said that the locality is grappling with two demographic challenges at the same time, including a low birth rate and shrinking labor resources. To stimulate the fertility rate, the Department of Population and Family Planning has proposed several solutions aimed at encouraging each couple to have two children. A grand job fair was held on Wednesday in Hanoi, which aimed at connecting companies and potential candidates. The job fair gave young people opportunities to access jobs in a professional way. More in the following story.
At the job fair, more than 40 businesses in the fields of commerce, service, tourism, mechanics, electronics, technology joined the hunt for potential candidates. These jobs offered a wide range of monthly salaries from $500 to nearly $1,000 USD per month.
I want to find a job that matches my professional qualifications.
We provide many job opportunities with diverse professions that are suitable for freshly graduated students.
This year, the labor market has witnessed many fluctuations, making job opportunities more challenging for workers, especially young workers. However, many specific occupations, such as technology and engineering, are in need of skilled workers. Priority is given to young workers who have been well trained.
Our company looks for dedicated young candidates.
We have many jobs opening for young candidates. Many positions are needed for them to fill in.
The demand for full-time jobs accounts for 70% and the remaining are for part-time jobs. This fact shows that businesses want to recruit stable and long-term personnel. The recruitment target for workers with college, university, or higher degrees accounts for a significant proportion, reflecting the trend of recruiting high quality of human resources.
Vietnam issued a law on prevention and control of tobacco a long time ago, aiming to reduce the use of this item. However, policies and sanctions have not exactly been effective to stop people from using tobacco. There have been many types of new generation cigarettes, including electronic cigarettes sold publicly and used by young people, thereby increasing cases of smuggling and illegal trading of this item.
New generation tobacco products can be classified into two main types: heated tobacco products and electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes. In Vietnam, although these products have not yet been licensed for business, they are still advertised on social platforms, e-commerce sites, and publicly sold on the market.
There are emergency cases recorded due to using e-cigarettes with drugs mixed in it. These are typical cases of acute drug overdose. Drastic solutions are in need to protect people.
I think that the government needs to have directions for thorough and comprehensive research on medical, health, and management aspects of new generation tobacco products and come up with suitable measures.
According to WHO data, there have been 184 countries and territories issued regulations on the management of new generation tobacco products. However, in Vietnam, the Ministry of Industry and Trade is still in the process of developing a plan for management.
We must agree that tobacco, no matter what type it is, causes harmful effects to humans' health. But as it is a market demand, we cannot forbid it. We must find ways to manage the use of it.
It is time for new generation tobacco products to be brought under management.
Coming up next in our world news, UN sounds red alert as climate records broken last year. And China to grant foreign investor greater access to its market. The United Nations World Meteorological Organization announced to the world that every major global climate record was broken last year. The statement was made in its chief voicing particular concerns about ocean heat and shrinking sea ice. The UN Weather Agency said in its annual State of the Global Climate Report that average temperature hit the highest level in 174 years of record keeping by a clear margin, reaching 1.45 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Ocean temperatures also reached the warmest in 65 years of data, with over 90% of the seas having experienced heatwave conditions during the year, harming food systems. The UN agencies also voiced concern that there is a high probability that 2024 would set a new heat records as the year after an El Nino was typically warmer still. The report also showed a big plunge in Antarctic sea ice, with the peak level measures at 1 million kilometers square below the previous record, an area roughly equivalent to the size of Egypt. China will further shorten their negative list for foreign investment and implement pilot programs to ease access for global companies in the field of scientific and technological innovations, according to an action plan released by the General Office of the State Council's China Cabinet on Tuesday. To broaden market access for foreign investments, the country will remove restrictions on foreign participation in the manufacturing sector and continue to increase openness in sectors such as telecommunications and healthcare. Foreign financial entities will be granted greater access to the country banking and insurance sectors, and the operational scope of 4 foreign financial institutions will be expanded in China's domestic bond market. The introductions of this action plan indicates that the country is looking for foster sustainable economic growth, technological innovations, and stronger global competitiveness. Test flights of heavy lift drones are underway in Antarctica as scientists studying climate change look for better ways to collect data on the frozen continent. More in the following story.
The pilotless aircraft, a Wind Racer's ultra-unmanned aerial vehicle, has already flown more than 700 kilometers collecting data that could help us better understand how Antarctica is being affected by environmental change.
So specifically, we've got camera systems on for environmental sensing, so we can take photographs and hyperspectral imagery to study the ecology of some of the islands out in the bay behind me. Then we've got gravity and magnetic sensors, and we use these to look at the geology of the rocks underneath the water and underneath the ice. And that's really important for understanding how the ice might flow in the future.
Designed for extreme environments like Antarctica, the vehicle is a fully autonomous, twin-engine, 10-meter fixed-winged aircraft, capable of carrying 100 kilograms of cargo or sensors, with a range of 1,000 kilometers.
The flight control software is something that we've resourced very heavily and is actually very advanced. And able to go from completely stationary on the runway before takeoff, fly an entire mission, and bring it back down again, including auto takeoff, auto landing, collision avoidance with other aircraft en route, etc.
The Ultra has been fitted with a range of sensors and cameras that will help it survey protected environmentally sensitive areas and assess the marine food chain. Magnetic and gravity sensors will help it see through ice to examine the continental landscape buried under ice.
We are studying the environment. We are trying to understand how it's changing and how humans are impacting the environment. And therefore, we have this real understanding of how we're impacting the environment.
The project is part of its pilot program called Protecting Environments with Uncrewed Aerial Vehicle Swarms, aimed at demonstrating how advanced drone technology can be used to gather environmental data in Antarctica.
And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch the program, you can log on to vtvgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.